Welcome to Anfield Road TV, Reds. Hope you're all well, whatever you've been up to today. It's me from Anfield Road TV. The audio listeners, Jack, Connor from the Cop Council as well. What a great start. Connor from the Cop Council, and hopefully we'll be joined by Kev from Spider LFC. Obviously, as you can see from the topics and debates for the audio listeners, we will be discussing obviously the Canate Virgil van Dijk partnership, how imperious, how phenomenal that has been, and how an important role it has been in regards to obviously Arne Slot's win and our form and going forward into the new season, how well that could be. Football and commentary bias as well. Want to get your thoughts as well for all the listeners, watchers as well. What's your thoughts and opinions in regards to just general football and commentary, regardless of whether you listen on TNT, Sky Sports, or just in general football and format as well, even on Twitter or any form of social media as well. Slot to the top. Arne Slot has took us to the top, and hopefully we'll continue that run of form. A little bit of statistics in regards to obviously Liverpool's great start to the season. Connor brought that to my attention, so we'll speak about that at the top of the show because it's our gaffer and we're absolutely made up with him. The Anfield noise as well in regards to obviously how much of an important factor that will be, as it always has been for Liverpool, but most importantly with the new manager coming in, if we do continue this good trajectory of points total and everything, how integral as we know it's going to be massive as we know, and how important it was last night as well for the couple of mates that did go to ground last night said it was absolutely on point yet again, back-to-back weeks, and long may that continue as well. Connor, thank you very much for joining me, mate. Obviously, I spoke to you yesterday on your post-match show in regards to a big Liverpool win. Just get your general thoughts on, obviously, the game last night, mate. Just your general thoughts on the game. Were you very impressed again to see Liverpool win a game of football, but most importantly, against the calibre of opposition Liverpool were up against last night in Bayer Leverkusen? Big win.
Yeah, no, it was. I think that for every rival supporter that keeps on saying that Liverpool haven't played anyone yet, well, we've played one of the best teams in Europe and slapped them 4-0 in that second half. And look, it was a chess match at the beginning, but I think obviously once we realised how to beat that Bayer Leverkusen press, again, we saw it plenty of times, didn't we? How Liverpool exploited that team in the second half, and I don't even think we've scratched the surface yet of how good this Liverpool team can be under Arne Slot. And again, he's been in the job now for 4 months, and I think Jurgen Klopp said at the end of last season, like, this squad is good, and we do have a really, really good squad of players.
To that point, Con, spot on. What's been the most important thing that you've enjoyed watching from this Liverpool side?
Defense. The defense is the number one key to winning trophies and winning titles. The fact that we've conceded 7 goals in all competitions, which, look, last season we looked massively against defending. It was very heavy metal going forward. But now with the structure and obviously Liverpool being a bit more thoughtful in everything that we do, like, it's not, it's not 100 miles an hour. It's a mixture of both in terms of, it being methodical and chaos. But it's refreshing to see. It's great the fact that we're watching, and we're going to talk, of course, about him a bit later on, about Ibu and Virgil. That partnership gets better and better every game. The likes of Ryan Gravenberch, again, the season he's having. And I was watching something earlier on, and you think about the players so far this season that has improved under Arne Slot. We'll speak about Luis Diaz, Gravenberch, Ibu, the fact that he's staying more fit. Again, every single player looks like they've took something on from the start of the season. And that's encouraging. And we're not even in November yet. So for me, Liverpool will finally get better through the Christmas period. And of course, going into January, February time, that's when we'll see the real Liverpool. That's when we should see the real Liverpool. But as things are right now, it's really, really good. And for an early stage, it's exciting. It really is.
Absolutely buzzing, mate. Chat and get your comments in if you are watching on the repeat or listening. Do get your thoughts in the comment section below on what we speak about tonight. Most importantly, more engagement from you, the better as well, everyone. That's the most important thing. But big up to the Lee and Matthias that have joined in on the live comments as well this evening. Big up, lads. Massive thank you for tuning in. As always, much appreciated evening, Matthias. Matthias goes on to add on tonight's show, our defence looked good, but make no mistake, our new playing style and cover from Gravenberch has a lot to do with this as well. 100% there, Matthias, as Conor alluded to there. I think the most important thing come January, come the next couple of windows, I think the most important aspect for Liverpool, as well as obviously picking up points, but a massive point to what will continue this hopeful good bit of momentum, really, and just more better playing, winning games of football is the reinforcement. Most importantly, I think the more quality we can add to this squad as well and reinforce, it gives, as we all know, Liverpool every opportunity to start winning games of football. Football is a very funny old game, but we know the quality this squad does possess as well. Big up there, Doug from the Dugout Football channel. Hope you are well, mate. Massive thank you for tuning in. And yeah, Doug, let us know your thoughts on the game last night as well. In terms of Connor, we'll quickly go into the first topic and talking point tonight in regards to the show. You brought it to my attention, but we'll go through it as well. The most wins in the first 16 matches of Premier League managers in all competitions. Arne Slot has topped the lot. As I said, Slot to the top in regards to the title as well. But he's in good standing. Obviously, it's early stages, and I've been on countless episodes, countless shows, even on a space a couple of weeks ago with the lads speaking about the game and just Liverpool's general thoughts on our title aspirations. We're in November. Titles aren't winning November time. But what you can do, Con, in November is very much set out your stall, really, and show to the rest of the league. But Slot's got 14 wins, and he's at the top of this table, and you've got below him, Carlo Ancelotti, Jose Mourinho, both second with 13 wins. Conte with 12 wins. John Gregory, he's on 12, obviously the ex-Aston Villa manager as well. Maurizio Sarri, he's on 12. And Avram Grant on 12. And Unai Emery with 12 as well. So he's in very good standing there, Con. It's obviously early stages, but yeah, the statistics speak for themselves of how good he's already impacted the football club, mate.
Well, I will say on the names on top of that list, apart from Arne Slot, went on to win the Premier League in their first season in England. So I wonder whether or not we'll do that or not. No, but looking at it, again, obviously a lot of Chelsea managers on that list.
I was going to say, yeah, 4 Chelsea managers there. Just goes to show in the Premier League era how much of a rotation of managers they've always had.
To be fair, I think there's 5 out of 7 on that list that is Chelsea.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
But no, like he's in good good names in terms of Jose Mourinho, Carlo Ancelotti. Like again, what I think everyone was expecting at the start of the season has been blown out of everyone's minds because of how good we've been. And that's all we were speaking about it on my channel last night, and we were speaking about like rival fans saying like, oh, you've not played anyone yet, and you've not, you're not being, tested at all by any club. Well, we've played Bournemouth this season. Bournemouth have beat Man City and Arsenal so far in the past week. You look at Bayer Leverkusen, I think we've all said it now, like, look, that team has lost twice before last night in 18 months. Like, that's ridiculous.
It's just how ordinary we made them look last night, mate. I know, obviously, their qualities, we all do. But I think coming into that game, and rightly so, everyone was singing the praises. But let's not get ourselves. Liverpool been playing really well. Statistics that we just read out there just speak for themselves, mate. But it's a breath of fresh air, really, in regards to just how the more weeks that go by, the more we analyse and we learn from Arne Slot. Me and you spoke this season coming into it. We're not being on our shows. We're not avid watchers of Feyenoord. The Dutch league, obviously, we watch 1 or 2 in Champions League teams. If Liverpool are playing against it and an Eredivisie side as well. But it's remarkable for me.
Well, I think all of us, like, once we found out. To be fair, I think last season every Liverpool supporter was changing teams. 1 minute it was Bayer Leverkusen, then it was Sporting, and then of course it was Feyenoord in the end. But I think once we watched Feyenoord and you understood what Slot ball was about, and what he brought to a team, you could understand it, I think, a lot more than what somebody like obviously Xavi Alonso and of course Ruben Amorim now, who's a Manchester United manager, which is a bit mad. But I think
that's nice as well.
yeah, exactly, like that was outrageous. But I think Slot brings to this team, we've all said it about certain individual players, about how can they improve, how can they get to the next level of their development. And I think even this season, I know we've not got him highlighted, but of course last night stealing the show and getting a hat-trick, Luis Diaz. Now Luis Diaz already this season, I think, has surpassed his goal contributions to what he did last season. And we're in November. Like, that's ridiculous. And so far what we've seen of him, I think if we get this version of Luis Diaz against Man City last season at Anfield, I think he scores those chances. And again, you go, oh, well, what's changed? What has he done? And I think if anybody took I can't remember what radio show it was on, but they were speaking about Trent and how Trent spoke about Slot's analysis of things.
Yeah, I think it was 5 Live. BBC Radio 5 Live. It was the
And
famous chef as well, wasn't it? I've forgotten his name, apologies.
And they were on about like how he changes things, like how he suggests, like, oh, if you just change your body angle by 8 degrees, you've got a better chance to defend a bit. And you're wondering what he's saying to the likes of Darwin, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz as well, what insight he's giving them, because it's working, plain and simply. But it's a very interesting concept to see how Liverpool have changed from last season. And I think, again, even some games this season we've gone, Liverpool got lucky a bit, but when you actually look at it, Liverpool have been quite methodical in their ways and being able to change games, plain and simple. And that's a very encouraging thing. But it's also, I think once we get to when we get to January time, when we've gone through that really tough period, playing every 2 days, pretty much, that will be the true test, I think, under Arne Slot, is like, how do we come out of that? If we're still top or still in a chance of winning things, that for me is the encouraging sign for everything.
Yeah, 100%. Mate. Chat, let us know your thoughts on it. It's exciting times, really, in regards to that. Liverpool going forward for this season. Big up there, Matthias. The last integrated ingredient that seems to get no respect is the injury program that Slot started when he's arrived. Can you remember, as an example, Canate playing so many matches in a row without injuries? 100%, yeah, it's madness. And both Arsenal and Manchester City in the position they are now, especially founded in their injuries they have had. Yes, they have had injuries as well, but it has handled it a lot better in regards to Arne Slot as well. Big up there, mate. 100% there, Matthias. And injuries will succumb. Liverpool will succumb to injuries, Matthias. Connor as well. But it's. I think it will be another opportunity. I spoke to Kev last night on the show on the post match. Is gone. When the opportunity will arrive, because it will do for some of these players, the majority of these Liverpool players, it's just all about that development, as you alluded to there. Darwin Núñez, more developments in terms of in front of goal, as well as you alluded to. Slots already, had 4 or 5 months, whatever it's been, since he's come into Liverpool. But you can certainly just analyse, when we're, as fans, just in general, watching this Liverpool team, there's an almost and you only have to watch him on the touchline. Arne Slot as in-game management, and we're seeing that on the touchline. Certain managers we grew up watching, Rafa Benitez wasn't really that. It was a bit animated, but he'd like to sit on the dugout with his notepads, making notes, countless notes. And we see with Jurgen Klopp, very different, very animated, up and down. Alonso last night, very animated. Certainly picked that up from the previous managers he's played under as well. But he's like a conductor, as I said last night, Con. But he's not just directing the individual players. He's clearly instructing them. And especially, how many times have we gone into half-time this season and it's been a constant, quick turnaround? Like, literally every single game. like where we've seen a not bad 45, but a 45 minutes where Liverpool have really struggled to get up to full throttle football, really.
I was saying this to someone earlier, and I think for us, it's frustrating every first 45 minutes because Liverpool seem to take forever to get going. But I've come to think that I think Slot, he does things to try and figure teams out, and again it's worked nearly every time so far this season, apart from Forest, where as the game went on we got worse instead of getting better. But it feels like, certainly like last night, I think I was saying to you that even though the possession, I think in the first half, I think Leverkusen, I think it was 63% possession, but they did nothing with the ball. And Slot was very much happy to, give them the ball and see what they could do. But then in the second half, it completely changed, and it flipped in an instant where, again, Liverpool then were creating more chances, getting more possession. And I think that is something where Slot, that's a credible thing for his managerial style, is the fact that he can flip, excuse me, he can flip a switch. My throat is absolutely killing me. I think that's the worst. If anybody knows when you've got a really bad cold or bad throat, it's horrible. But I think once Slot flips, like the switch, like in bringing on, like he's brought on players at half time, he's changed a certain tactic. Like against Chelsea, I think the Chelsea game is a prime example of what Slot does right. Again, brings an extra man in midfield, makes the DMs a bit more wider. Even last night, compacting the midfield a bit more, the wing backs creating space. That was very good in us winning. And again, he keeps on doing that, and it's really telling that no matter what the situation this season, Slot either learns from it or he does something that will make the game better for us. And that's tremendous to watch. And just to see we've actually got now a person that thinks on their feet and won't wait it out. And I think that's something that, again, massively we've needed, especially the last couple of seasons.
Yeah, he's clearly an analytical fella. Like he analyzes football really well. Obviously Klopp was very different. I think he led from his management. We know he was probably the best man manager in European football. And Klopp. But I think that Arne Slot coming in, only being here for a short spell, but I think his style of management is exactly what we've been crying out for in certain aspects. Obviously, I think Jurgen Klopp's. I think one criticism off the back of, not many criticisms of Jurgen Klopp, but I think for me personally, when we used to watch certain games under Jurgen Klopp, for me, I think we were far too passive, far too slow to very much react in the big moments within games. You look at games against Manchester City in the past, obviously there was, the big games, especially against when you're playing Real Madrid as well. It's just certain games where you're just looking back on time. And it's little things like that, but that's what makes, and hopefully long term, obviously it's early stage with Arne Slot, but I think the best managers certainly make their decisions very quickly within games. Like we know 90 minutes it goes by within a flash. Like small margins in football might be a little bit of luck, but I think in football you make your own luck, and that's from having your team putting a performance, making changes on the fly. Don't be waiting until the 70th minute to make a decision. If you can actually analyse something within a game, as Arne Slot's doing currently, as you said there, Con, he's very proactive, very reactionary, but certainly he believes in his philosophy in the early stages. But I don't think he's that arrogant to a point where we've seen Brendan Rodgers come into Liverpool Football Club where he had his own inner belief, but I think he believed too much in his own style of football, and he wasn't very much willing to listen to learn and listen, and that's where I think he's failed at other previous management teams in the Premier League as well.
Well, you look at Brendan Rodgers. I've criticised Brendan Rodgers loads of times on my own channel in terms of his Liverpool career, because I think everyone at the time, considering where Liverpool was and considering where the team was as well, you can understand some certain things. Again, it was a learning curve, I think, for the club, and obviously we try to bring the next best up and coming manager, because what Brendan Rodgers was doing at Swansea was really, really encouraging. But even on a recruitment side of things, Arne Slot he said it throughout the summer. Excuse me. How we are looking to improve the team. We are looking to take the team to go and fight against the Madrids, the cities, everything. You look at how the club bought Bobby Firmino. Brendan Rodgers never wanted Bobby Firmino, which when you look back at that now and you go, how on earth did you not want Bobby Firmino?
And then that, in comparison, when you look at Klopp, he was buzzing to how good he was when he come into the club as well. But I think that's a tell of the best managers, though, mate. They make the best out of what they've got, but they most importantly, I think for any general football fan, doesn't matter if you're a Charlton fan or a Liverpool fan or a Barcelona fan. The most important thing, obviously, the world we live in as football fans, we know social media, we're part of social media as well, the fanfare of transfers. But the great managers, they make the best of what they've got currently. Football cannot continue in this notion and trajectory of really always looking to the transfer market to improve your football club. The main thing is having a manager in the dugout and improving it.
The academies over the years, like I won't say everybody knows we all hate like Chelsea and Manchester City, but look at their academies. All right, they've bought into a lot of that in terms of, again, the money side of things. But you look at Chelsea's academy and look how much of an effect that academy has had on the Premier League itself. The amount of bodies that have come through there. You look at cities over the years. You even look at us in recent years. When you've got Trent Alexander-Arnold now, Curtis Jones obviously coming through. Obviously, we've had other youngsters, come through as well. Look at the League Cup final, and not all of them were, born and bred in Liverpool, but again, they've come through the academy as a young age, and that's a really good positive thing for the future. Like, look at how much buzz there was off us getting Chelsea's best kid, in terms of Rio, and that's something that, again, is exciting because everybody you speak to at the moment is saying that he is one of the best talents at a youth level. And that's when we speak about finding the next Mbappe or finding the next Vinny Jr. Again, if we can have somebody like that in our academy and comes through in that regard, again, that would be amazing. Look at Raheem Sterling. Look at back 10 years ago when everyone was staying, he's the next in line, and then that 13-14 season when everything going forward come together, when we had Suarez, Sturridge, Sterling, Henderson, Coutinho, Gerrard, like that was exciting. Going forward, obviously defensively a bit different, like, because of course, Jesus Christ, I think we conceded, like, was it 53 goals that season in the league?
Mad. We scored loads of goals, but we conceded about 4 a game. Anyway.
Like, but Jesus, what a time to be alive. But no, it's encouraging, and it is. And look, if you can have that mixture of youth and experience, and that can take you forward, again, that will be so good for the club moving forward, and exciting as well on an overall level.
Yeah, 100%, mate. It just goes against the grain as well. What Arne Slot's doing, like me and you done shows. I think the majority of Liverpool fans out there in the summer window just gone, we would like, we did need a 6, but I tell you what, if Arne Slot wins the league without signing any players, that will just shut up everyone. Most importantly, me and you, Con, but it goes against the grain of the modern day football, as you alluded to there. Chelsea's biggest issue is not the point of them buying players, it's the point that Musiala was in the academy of Chelsea a long time ago. Like, the crux and the big players in the Premier League, if you look at their developments and trajectory and playing first team football in the Premier League, they all probably could stem back to being at Chelsea's academy at some point, or Manchester United's academy, or Liverpool's. It's these big clubs when you are in the big massive wheel of turning out and turning over big players and big contracts as well. Like, buying someone for 400 million, for literally in a couple of years, it will be 400 million. But in terms of giving a player 300, 400 grand a week, it's for me, it doesn't sit right with me.
Like, but it's like Pogba. I personally think Paul Pogba is one of the worst transfers or the worst stories going in football. Yeah, because Man United had him in his academy. Ferguson didn't like him. They let him go to Juventus for free. They've done that twice. They've done it back to back. They've let him. How much did he sign for? 89 million, I think it was.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Like, and then they let him go for free. back to Juve. Obviously, of course, he's got done for doping. Well, that's acquitted now anyway. But like, even still, like that transfer, and everyone goes, "Oh, well, he's a World Cup winner," and it's like, yeah, but Paul Pogba for me is one of the worst players, or the worst overhyped players ever in Premier League history, because he should have been the De Bruynes that we're talking about, and he should have been that guy to push Manchester United to go and challenge for titles and go on to fight against City and Chelsea and that. But he never did that. Like and people go, "Oh, he's a different player for France." Yeah, I would be a different player if I had
If you had
N'Golo Kante running. Yeah,
Kante, Matuidi, the other lads around them as
yeah,
well, mate.
exactly. And that's not to say United didn't have a good team, because they had a decentish team. But it's just the attitudes, and that's for me what makes, when we speak about players like Jordan Henderson, for example, that's for me what Jordan Henderson was miles ahead of Paul Pogba. Technical ability, no, of course Paul Pogba is a better football player than that. But in terms of working your ass off,
Football and
being
qualities, most
football,
important thing.
being a leader, being the guy that will literally you can rely on in a team, that is most important. Again, Jose Mourinho, I think, spoke about it. He couldn't trust Paul Pogba in that United team. With Liverpool under Jurgen Klopp, Henderson was the guy that would push you forward. All right, the wheels did fall off in the end, but that's for me where I would want more in a footballer in Jordan Henderson than I would in Paul Pogba.
Yeah, you need those characters fundamentally. Liverpool 70 teams, 80 teams. Obviously, Roy Keane, he was a very good captain for Manchester United, a great personality. Punditry, he sounds, tongue-in-cheek moments. That's what it's all about as well. But obviously, Souness for us, the legendary figures we've had at our football club. Now, as you alluded to, I think Henderson brought that steel, the personality, the leadership, most importantly. As you said, you can have your flair players, but I think for every great side within European football and just general football in terms as well, you need players to not be on social media doing TikTok dances or something stupid in the changing room. Like it's going back to the basic fundamentals, working hard over a 38 game season as well. And as Matthias has said there, of course, we will stay humble as well, though, Matthias. But what we will do, and we will analyse this Liverpool team, we're very thankful. There's a lot of football teams out there in the Premier League that go into a weekend struggling to get 3 points. We were there at that one point prior to Jurgen Klopp coming in. We had the banter years, obviously, under Roy as well. This Liverpool Football Club has come a very long way over the space of the last 10, 12 years as well. It's not always as been as easy as we currently do find ourselves. That's why in the next couple of weeks, we will succumb to a couple of drop points as well. But we're not going to be reactionary and go, all of us Liverpool fans sees the bigger picture as well in terms of the position we are in currently. If there is big players, if we need one or two signings, that's where I think if Arne Slot's top of the league, Liverpool need to strengthen, certainly back in Arne Slot, because we know Arne Slot would have come in with a mandate. He would have come in with a clear plan. And come January time, if he wants to sign one or two players to strengthen this squad, give Arne Slot the tools to do what he needs to do.
Yeah, no, 100%. I still say it. I think even though Gravenberch has had an amazing season, I still think Liverpool need a number 6. I think it's clear that, not that he doesn't trust Wataru Endo, because again, the last couple of games we've seen once Liverpool need to, get a result. Like last weekend against Brighton, he brought on Wataru Endo to solid up the midfield and make sure we don't concede. That's the type of player Wataru Endo is for this team, and that's a great quality to have. But again, Gravenberch can't play 56 games a season, flat out. He can't.
I'd say we need another pair. We need another Maka and we need another Gravenberch. We need if we could copy them and put them in the squad, that would be ideal.
No, exactly.
And then you complement that with Jones and Szoboszlai as well. I think those two are very different in terms of what they offer Liverpool compared to those two.
I think we spoke about this off camera. I think Curtis Jones is more of a 10 than an 8 than anything. But again, Szoboszlai and Jones, they're two different types of 10, and that's a good quality to have. But I think as well, it's also like you said, like another Maka would be perfect for this team
We
because
wish there was
again,
another Macker out there, then we'd go and
oh
get
yeah,
him.
of
But
course. Well, just
yeah,
sign his brother from, to be fair. But no, I think I would agree with that, and I think certainly another six is a must. I would still say it is, just due to again the workload for Gravenberch, because again he's okay with it right now, and we're coping with things good at the present moment in time. But again, you never know what can happen, and what can come around the corner, and that's for me is important because again we've seen already this season how under Slot the builder relies heavily on the midfield, and us going forward relies heavily on the midfield. If the midfield's not right, then Liverpool don't play good. We've seen it, with systems in the club. If Bobby Firmino had a poor game, Liverpool would have a poor game because the whole system was certainly around Bobby Firmino and even the fullbacks. Again, I know that I think Doug mentioned it in the comments in terms of Simicas or Robbo. For me, we spoke about it last night. Costas is undroppable at the minute, and that for me is a good thing on Andy Robertson because Robbo now has to work harder to get back into the team. He has to show Arne Slot, like, look, I've been the number one left back for the last couple, for the last 5, 6, 7 years. I have to fight back for my spot, and that's what makes a team better. Again, we've said it, haven't we? How predictable sometimes Liverpool's team can be. And even though now I think if we were to say, right, who's starting against Villa on the weekend, I think all of us would probably get, 10 out of the 11 or maybe 9 out of the 11. But I think even now there's more of an unpredictable style with Liverpool where you saw against Leverkusen, Curtis Jones for Dom Szoboszlai, Louis Diaz playing in the 9 over Darwin Núñez. Like, we didn't expect these things, but that again is something very encouraging in terms of Slot. In terms of, again, you never know what team he's going to bring out.
And that comes from the quality in the dugout, as you've said there, mate, 100%. Shaq, keep on getting your comments in as well. We will reply to every single one of them. If you've got any questions, not just for me and Con, but your general football and fans in the comments as well. Doesn't matter if you're a Liverpool fan. Welcome to Anfield Road TV. Hope you all have a very good Wednesday afternoon, whatever you're being up to anyway. Let's big up there Lee, big up there Matthias, big up there Tom as well. Quickly rattle through all these as well. Make sure we do get all of them. All the goals is from the Dugout Football channel. All the goals are getting shared out this season and not relying too much on Salah. Now everyone has stepped up, and Diaz, a hat-trick is amazing too. It's great time to be a Liverpool fan. 100% there, Doug. Obviously, I think Salah's got now 4 Champions League assists with 1 goal, but he's leading the way in terms of the assists for Liverpool, which is absolutely quite remarkable.
He's 4, I think he's either 3 or 4 Champions League assists away from Luka Modric, which is
the record.
I don't think it's the record, but I think to get it to Luka Modric, I think he overtook, I think it was Henry's European record last night.
Another one.
But I think for Modric, again, everybody thinks Modric is this technical, brilliant ball passer. Again, Salah's 3 assists away from reaching his record, which is unbelievable.
Yeah, I think the record for the Champions League was James Milner, wasn't it? A couple of years ago when we had James Milner.
10 assists in a season.
Which is mad. Like, we should have another record Jimmy Milner had as well.
It was the fact that we had, I think in the 17-18 season, the Kiev loss, I think it was it Bobby, Sadio and Mo were all on 10 goals and James Milner was on 10 assists as well, which was mental.
Jimmy Milner, what a legend. If only he was 5 years younger. I'd say Arne Slot would love him in his Liverpool team who was 5 years younger anyway. But Matthias is saying Diaz had a remarkable match yesterday, but is he a striker for the future? Jota is often injured and Núñez had the problems getting the goals. Should we look to another striker in January? I know me and Kev did discuss this, Matthias, but great question for obviously just general football fans as well. Con, I'll let you answer that, mate. It's interesting time.
For me, no. I think Liverpool have enough quality there. I know obviously people will get frustrated with Núñez. Still, I still say it to this day. I think Darwin Núñez can still be a world class, or at least a top level striker in Europe. Still, I think obviously the system change is huge for Liverpool. It plays more to the style of Núñez than again as playing more of a false 9. in that sense as well. But I think that there is going to need there is a conversation needed, I think, around injuries. Obviously, Jota's a brilliant footballer, but I think, like we've said it, and I think you guys have said it in the comments already about Ibu Kanate and how many games he's played so far this season in a row, and it's been really impressive. And that's what you want from Liverpool. Quite clearly, Jota's been the number one guy for Liverpool this season, but once again, he's injured, and we don't know when. Same with Chiesa. Like I think all of us really expected Chiesa to come in and obviously make a difference in that sense. But I think all of us did forget at some point that Lucky didn't play any part of Juventus's preseason. His body basically was not, it had no training for about 2 or 3 months, and you need that. You do, and I think obviously coming after the international break now, where we should be starting to have players come back in terms of Jota, Chiesa, Ali as well. I know
Lee said Harvey Elliott as well. That'd be a big plus.
Harvey be huge. We've missed Harvey. Like we speak about impacts coming off the bench. Harvey Elliott's been a huge miss in that. But we spoke about it a bit earlier on in terms of, again, Arsenal, City with their injuries. Liverpool have had injuries this season as well, and like how we've coped with it. And I think, you look at City, I think that Rodri injury is huge for them. I still say it, that obviously, with Rodri winning the Ballon d'Or, we've had conversations, in our chat about who should have won the Ballon d'Or.
It's mad how Van Dijk and Salah have not got a Ballon d'Or in the last couple of years. Like Salah's record in European, like the consistent levels, but it's still crazy. Van Dijk got second, the closest anyone's ever got in a Ballon d'Or nomination, which is quite remarkable. But it's the Messi, Ronaldo era. When you put them aside, maybe, hopefully, because Salah, especially Virgil van Dijk, both of them deserve. I'd even say Kevin De Bruyne as well. I think how the impact he's had on Manchester City over the last 5-6 seasons has been nothing short of absolutely very impactful compared to Salah and Van Dijk, especially. I know it's the back end of his tenure, Kevin De Bruyne, but I don't think he is like.
Well, if you look, if we speak about Ballon d'Ors, if Liverpool win a Champions League this season, what
Premier League, Champions League double.
Well, if we was to win that and Salah was the spearhead of that, what's to say Mo can't win the Ballon d'Or? And I think even, excuse me, I think Slot even spoke about it, didn't he? About Mo having that same mentality as Ronaldo, where he can go into his late 30s and go on to create and make even more history. And I think that's something when we speak about in terms of contract negotiations as well. I think Mo Salah wants to stay. It's quite clear he wants to stay. He doesn't want to leave the football club. And I think even for the owners and Michael Edwards and Richard Hughes, I think it's glaring this season that Mo Salah, even if he has a quiet game, he gets a goal involvement. The fact that he has, again, so many goals and assists at Anfield alone is ridiculous. That's something that blows my mind every single week when we look at those statistics and you go, wow, how on earth do they keep on doing it? And there's no player in the world right now that, for me, gets undervalued more than Mo Salah. I think Mo Salah's levels over the last, like you said, over the last 7-8 years has been breathtaking every single season. Yeah. And he doesn't get credit. Like, when people talk about Premier League teams, like ever of all time, apart from Liverpool fans, nobody mentions Salah, and that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah,
that Salah doesn't get talked about enough.
I think a lot of it, quite a lot of jealousy, if I'm being honest, mate. Thing is, like, the balanced football fans, especially when you analyse the many great Manchester United sides. We know you support Liverpool, you've bought the sensible ones of us, as much as we dislike a lot of Manchester United players, but do a very good under Fergie, like in terms of him winning football games. As I mentioned, Roy Keane, what a footballer he was. As Carragher said, no one wants to be a Gary Neville. As well, but it just goes to show the quality. I do agree there, Con. Chat, let us know. We might do a show on that this week as well, in terms of speaking about Ballon d'Ors. Probably it's crazy anyway, but it's big debates. Doug, massive thank you for the membership as well, chat. You can, if you want to support the channel as well. Massive does help out in regards to that as well. anyone. You don't have to, but I really do appreciate Doug and anyone that is a member on the channel as well. Really do appreciate it. You should get little badges as well in terms of your membership. And I will be adding some gifts as well that you can use in the chat as well, which is fantastic. But massive thank you, Doug. Looking forward to being back in my favourite city next month for the Fulham match. Let's enjoy this moment of us being top of the Prem and Champions League. Amazing feeling at the moment as well. 100% there, Doug. 100%. Massive thank you. 25 months, mate, as well. Big support. And as I say to everyone, doesn't matter if you remember, anyone that tunes in on the post matches, on the live shows as well. Really do appreciate all the support as always. Reds and even neutral fans as well. I know there's a lot of people that are not Liverpool fans that do watch the channel as well. But big up there. Let's quickly rattle through. Big up there, Niall, as well. Big support on the channel as well. Niall, if you're free tomorrow now, I know obviously I spoke a couple of weeks ago in the chat. If it's a bit more easier, I'm trying to aim for 6 p.m. now, but if you're free on 6 p.m. certain weekdays, let us know. I know you're very busy, mate, but I'd love to get you on the channel, mate. Just give us a message or whatnot throughout the week or whatever's time's easiest. I think I'm going to be doing more than just one shows in a couple of weeks once I've got a bit more prioritizing of like shows and properly planning the shows out. Kick up the backside as well, fully needed from me and Corin anyway. But yeah. Massive thank you for that, mate. I saw the extended summary from Real Madrid match yesterday. This was from Mateus, and I can't remember seeing a player miss so many chances as Mbappe did yesterday. Mbappe is not a striker; he is a winger. Connor, it's crazy. Quickly touching on that, mate. They've got the two best left wingers in world football, and they're just trying to shoehorn them into a team. It's just not working.
I don't get why they are not playing Mbappe right wing. I don't like when they're like, oh, but Mbappe doesn't like playing on the right. Who cares? Like, you're the manager. I was saying to you off camera, the amount of Madrid fans I've seen today go, yeah, it's time to go. We want some people now.
They're so petulant and they're so used to just winning, aren't they? That they just throw managers under the bus. Managers like bloody hell, Zidane won 3 back-to-back Champions Leagues, and they threw him under the bus.
It wouldn't surprise me if they did sack Ancelotti and they brought Zidane back for half a season, because we all know who's going to be going to Madrid next year. It's Xabi Alonso. Yeah, we all know it's going to be. But there's a reason why Zidane doesn't go to anyone else but Madrid. It's because he wants that job. That he doesn't have to go anywhere else if he doesn't want to.
Cheeky payday for him as well.
Yeah, exactly. But like for me, like you said about like how spoilt Madrid fans are, because they're like, oh, we'll just get rid of this manager. We'll go and get, go and get the best one. We'll go and get Alonso now. I don't think Alonso would go now. I think he's quite clearly he wants to stay at Leverkusen. I think even when you even look at the Amorim situation, he wanted to stay at Sporting for the entire season, but of course United said no to that as well. So for me, quite clearly Madrid have got a defensive problem, and for me,
that's why we need Van Dijk to sign that new contract.
Yeah, exactly. But for me, why not play Bellingham in a false 9 and play, do what Liverpool did back in the day, where we had Bobby in the false 9, Mo on the right, Sadio on the left. They could easily do that, but they have this sense at the minute of, well, if we play Vinny and Mbappe as 2 strikers, it'll work, and it's quite clearly not working.
Yeah,
but it's funny. And look, long may Madrid's downfall continue, and it'll hopefully happen as well in 3 weeks' time when they come to Anfield.
Yeah, there was hopefully we put the final nail in the coffin for their Champions League hopes. But as I said last night, never write off Real Madrid. But there was a very long time ago, I think under Rafa, when we absolutely remember when Real Madrid turned up at Anfield and we absolutely slapped them 4-0. Like that period of time, I think they hadn't progressed past the quarterfinals for was it 10, 15 something statistics?
I think it was like 6-7 years.
Which is remarkable for a team like Real Madrid. I think we remember the early years, the early 2000s of that Galactico team. Like
It can happen to big teams. Look at us.
Yeah.
Like we were in the champion before Jurgen Klopp. We were in the Champions League 1 season out of 8 seasons.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous for Liverpool to not be in the biggest competition in the world is ridiculous. But Madrid need to they need to think about how, again, it's not going to last forever. And you can sign whoever. Look at the Galactico era. That's all you hear about from people even now saying like, "Oh, look at that team! Look at how amazing that team was." That team won nothing, pretty much.
Football's
Like,
not as simple as that, is it? Half the time.
yeah, well, it's not FIFA. We can easily make teams on FIFA and go on to, we'll go and sign this player and this player. Again, that's what Manchester United have done over the last couple of years. We'll sign this player, we'll sign that player. That'll make us better. It doesn't. Again, look at us. We've said over the years like, oh, we should sign a midfielder here, sign a midfielder there. We signed a player like you look at, like a Fabinho, for example, like how to the blue made the midfield the best in the league. And that's the people you want at a football club. And look, I'm happy Madrid are failing. I think everyone at Anfield as well last night was happy when the announcer said that, again, it was 3-1, if anybody's seen that video.
No, we haven't seen it. I have to check it out. Obviously, always if you go to the ground, obviously George, the voice of Anfield, what a job he's done over the years. Absolute legend. Obviously, when he announces the half-time scores and the full-time scores, the whole of Anfield erupts, especially if it's a result that goes our way. It's all well and good. Yeah, certainly. Big up there, Lee. Saying, has anyone been keeping an eye on Stefan is doing at Salzburg? I haven't, mate, but they've been getting absolutely slapped all over the gaff.
He played
Salzburg, haven't they?
He's been playing. He got fined for something, and then hasn't played much. So don't know what's happened there.
So Teplin's is just saying, not that. It's Salzburg. They are one of the biggest teams in Austria. I think if he's failing there, I think he will struggle in other clubs. But you never know. As we said, it's just all about time. But this is where matters. Hopefully he does well, though, Lee, as I said. And most important thing, if he comes back to Liverpool next season, the injuries are past him, and most importantly, we see a better. Obviously Stefan Bajcetic anyway. That's the main thing really coming into the club as well. Big up Damon says, Slot, a new manager in a new country and effectively almost had no backing at all in the transfer market. Chiesa, come on. If we see that guy, that's what we consider a bonus as well. Just even playing our games of football, almost. And the main thing is, though, mates, if we have players, most importantly, if they are fit, we need them to start playing. And it's the thing, if we get Chiesa fit, play him. Don't let him sit in the stands. But main thing is, it's difficult when you got Diaz, Gakpo, they're all fully firing as well, though, mate. Big up there, Phil. How are we, mates? Big up Jack and Connor. Big up, mates. I've had a good day, mates. Salah gets ignored by everyone. We love it, Lee. We love it. Long may continue, mates. We love it. They wish to wear us Liverpool Football Club as well. Quick one. We spoke about, obviously, anyone just tuning in as well. Go back on the episode as well. Spoke about Arne Slot's impact, the football club, and how impressive it has been, and long may it continue. Part of, obviously, Liverpool's famous success as a football club has been the Anfield noise, the crowd, especially on European nights as well, Connor. It's amazing, especially the lads I know that have been going. They've said the atmosphere in recent weeks has been much better. It's taken a bit of adjustments in regards to Arne Slot's way of football. It's very different, as we know, in regards to it's not Jurgen Klopp 100 mile an hour every single moment of the game. There is times where opposition teams will have possession, but obviously I was watching the game. But even people that went to ground last night, it was Anfield's atmosphere was absolutely electric tonight, and long may it continue, mate, because it will play a massive part, as it always has done, in big successful moments for Liverpool. I think it's so key, especially come what January time, if we are in such a promising position as we currently do find ourselves in. I think it could be the as I've said in the title, Liverpool's 12th man yet again.
Yeah, no, 100%. I think obviously we've all criticised Anfield for, again, I think we've all said it at times, it is dead. And what can people do to make that better? And I've always, I was supposed to, like you said, I think you've spoken to a couple of people. I spoke to a couple of people last night who went to the game, and they said the atmosphere was electric, and that's again, that's major. And of course, a European night at Anfield, it's always special in some way. But I think for me, the biggest thing I think for everyone, it's just no matter who goes, just make noise like that. That's no matter what noise it is. I think that's the most important thing. And I think even Slot I think spoke about it, how at times, of course, you can of course you can be struggling through a game, and obviously the crowd get a bit anxious and this, that, and the other. But that crowd then pulls the team forward. It does certain things, and even last night when that second goal went in, that place erupted. Anfield erupted last night.
I wish
when
that
second
Trent goal flew into the back of the net, lad, because the let off from the whole ground would have been pure Steven Gerrard vibes when Gerrard used to just absolutely every top corner, mate. Like the every foot that went off. If that Trent goal.
But that's the thing, and I think I think the big week for Liverpool at Anfield will be the Madrid City week. I think we got Southampton, and when we come back off the international break, we play
That's
Madrid.
Going to be a big game as well,
and then play City. Yeah, no, exactly. All games are huge for us at the moment, but yeah, that week for me will be huge for Anfield, and it has to be blaring. And again, European nights. Again, obviously we've spoke about ticket pricing, and for the price, again, everyone should make noise for that type of price. But I think when you do look at certain things, Anfield over the last couple of weeks has got better. Can it get better? Of course it can. I think there's certain things that I don't think many fans are happy about, but I think the more and more fans get their voice out there in terms of what can make it better, I think that's the best thing possible.
Yeah, it's 100%, mate. The more fan engagement from Liverpool Football Club in every aspect, most importantly, I think a clear dialect, clear communications is the main thing in any form of business. Listen to the fans, listen to the match-going fans, the fans that go away, spending thousands of pounds, literally going home and away. It's Liverpool Football Club without the fans wouldn't be the football club it is today. We all know that. Doesn't regardless if wherever you are. If you support Liverpool, we're all one big massive family. We get together as well, even the fan channels as well. I think at the end of the day, we all support Liverpool. Of course, a lot of us do have different views and opinions. Me and Connor disagree, but the main thing is that there should be a togetherness and get behind the gaffer as well as every single one of us does. The world is good if you have different opinions and you can have clear communication lines as well and debate it. But the most important aspect is if Liverpool just keep on winning games of football, life can be very easy, and everything and the outside noise can very much quickly be forgotten about as well. But quickly touching on, so chat, let us know if anyone that's gone the game the last couple of weeks as well, and it is notion as well, and we all get. I think for anyone that has not been the game or has ever been the game as well, doesn't matter. You can listen to the atmosphere on the telly as well. It does see through, and I'm hoping. I think the one good thing, Con, I don't know if you noticed it or anyone that watched the game at home, was on Amazon's package. You could just listen to the stadium ambience, which is amazing. I think that if that's an option for TNT or for Sky Sports, that would be great.
If Gary Neville's on commentary, then Jesus Christ, that'd be a phenomenal feature. That would.
Yeah, but it will be good. So chat, let us know your thoughts on the atmosphere. It will play a very pivotal role in regards to Liverpool's success, not just this season, but going forward. I think Arne Slot, he would have been impressed by tonight, but I think he himself will be wanting more. But the thing is, Con, there will be laws within the game to game because it's impossible for the fans and even the fans around the world as well to be constantly going 110%. every second of every game anyway, Con. But it's just about being patient and
Sorry,
getting behind them. It's
I'm,
what have you
I'm ju-
seen?
I've just seen Club Brugge are beating Villa. That's all.
Oh,
Sorry.
Addy. Oh, it's
Yeah.
that's even greater for our qualification top of the spot as well. So go ahead, Club Brugge could be and I think Club Brugge have got Real Madrid in a couple of weeks, and especially if Club Brugge are going into that game where they need a couple of points to qualify. Yeah, that's the beauty of this big group stage. What have you thought of that? Are you excited? I was saying to that with Kevin and the chat last night in regards to the qualification with this big, massive group, massive group that we do find ourselves. Match week 5, 6, 7, and 8 is going to be absolutely bonkers because we know how important goals will be. But if you come to the back end of 7 and 8, match week 8, it's just going to be absolute utter carnage, Con.
Yeah, no, it will be, and I'm just looking now at the table as things stand at the minute, and you look at the teams that automatically qualify. Normally, would Sporting, Monaco, and Dortmund get into the Champions League knockout stages? Obviously, Dortmund, yes, because they got into the Champions League final last season. But Monaco and Sporting being second and third, like that's unheard of, in terms of a table. Then, if you want to put it in that way, but even teams like, Madrid are 17th in this table, who's, again, we all know that European winners in that sense. And we all know, they'll scrape through one or two games, but they've looked poor every game. And again, there's not even them. Bayern Munich at the minute are just on 3 points, out of 3 games.
That's
And
ridiculous.
That's mad, and that for me is the real good thing about this. Again, I was really against it. At the
Let us
start,
know your thoughts on the format.
yeah, I thought it was stupid for me. I thought I didn't like it, but now we're in it. I kind of do in that sense because again, you are seeing at the minute who is the best team in Europe, and at the minute that's Liverpool Football Club, which I'm loving that. But also, look at Celtic. Celtic are on 7 points out of
that
4 games.
never would have happened in pre. It's never happened really. Celtic have been getting battered for the best part of the last 10 years.
They beat Leipzig last night. Like that's ridiculous. The fact that they beat Leipzig and the fact they're on more points than Barcelona as well. Like that's mental. But look, I'm all for it. But obviously, if we all of a sudden get to not being in the top 8, then maybe we might hate it again.
That's not happening, Connor. We're winning this. We're gonna go 8 wins from possible 8. We're just gonna make our own history. Arne Slot's gonna go unbeaten. The only team he's gonna be getting beat by is Forest. Shout out Forest. Imagine if they get top 4. But you've got certainly more Champions Leagues than certain other clubs in the Premier League. Those teams. So quickly in terms of that chat, quickly rattle through all these as well. And can the Ballon d'Or? It's from the Dugout Football Channel. The Ballon d'Or is a popularity contest. Always has been. Salah's desperately who's European. Yeah, 100% though, mate. But as we know, it's as he said, it's a popularity contest, well and truly. But the thing is, we've got to open a Messi and Ronaldo era. They deserve to be winning Ballon d'Ors because they were the best for the best part of the last 20 years. They were the best player every single season. The records they were reaching were unheard of, really, in European football. But post the Messi Ronaldo era, we will see a lot of quality. And I did not like how that people, especially pundits and journalists and everyone, were just speaking down on Rodri's footballing quality. Because even us as Liverpool fans, we can all appreciate Rodri's quality. Like, he's been an absolute joke of a footballer, and he's been absolutely instrumental. A bit like Kevin De Bruyne when City have been on top form. I get where people are saying with Vinny Jr. But this is all this footballing debate of, yes, football is all about scoring goals and all that, but most importantly, the defensive side of football is very much an art form in itself. The great AC Milan sides of the 70s and 80s and Baresi's of this world, like the Jose Mourinho, yes, it wasn't nice to watch, but it was very counter-attacking, world-class counter-attacking football, though, Con. Players of Rodri deserve to be getting applauded. As we've mentioned before with Virgil van Dijk, at the end of his career, Van Dijk should have a Ballon d'Or, and hopefully he will do at the end of his footballing career, because he's a centre-half of great footballing, phenomenal standing within European football.
Well, we've had the debate in our own group about who should have won the Ballon d'Or. And I know I was in the minority of saying Rodri because
No,
for
I
me,
felt he deserves it.
yeah, like for me, the toughest place on the pitch is a six. And I've said this from the start.
Or being a midfielder, because you have to do
Yeah,
both defense and
yeah,
attack.
exactly. And I think, like, look, it might be because I played the position, but like that for me, like when we had Fabinho, like that I loved Fabinho in that sense, because again we finally found a midfielder who could control, and defend well and intercept and so on. And then when you watch Rodri over the last 3-4 seasons, he's been the best defensive midfielder in the Premier League, and he has been, and that's for something that has been quite obvious. But I think over the last year to probably two, he's been the best midfielder in the world, and that's a huge difference as well. And look, I think what Paul Scholes said, I think on the overlap, I think he was having a debate with Rory Jennings, and again, this is nothing towards Rory Jennings himself, but like he was debating with Paul Scholes, saying like, no one would vote for Rodri, he doesn't light up a stadium. And I think Paul Scholes said that for intelligent people, he does do that. He does go on to make that pitch, bright and so on, and that is true. Rodri, what he's done for Manchester City, he's turned them into a machine. And again, he's not just a player sitting there and just waiting for the attack to go through. He wins games of football for City. And again, we hate City. We don't like City.
Champions League final goal that won
Yeah.
them the Champions
Won the
League, their
Champions
first
League.
Champions League. So
Again, how many
moment.
games have we seen in the Premier League where he's absolutely smashed one from 20 yards out, and won them the game like that? Again, he's a match winner for City, and again, no defensive midfielder does that. Again, if we were to say of all time, who would I rather have? Would I have Sergio Busquets, or would I have Rodri? I would still pick Sergio Busquets now. But what's to say in the next 5 years? Maybe Rodri changed my opinion on that. Maybe he changed a few other people's opinion on that. But then people having that debate about, why didn't Iniesta win? Why didn't Xavi win? Why didn't
again, he was in the Messi and Ronaldo
era. Yeah, exactly. Like those two took football to
we're getting
level.
60 goals every season. There's no way you can't.
Look at Messi. Messi had a 3-month injury list, and he got over 90 goals in a year. That's unheard of. But it's like footballers, they have not. I don't think anyone can say it. Like someone's been separate from everyone else. Like how like Messi and Ronaldo were up there, and everyone else was down there. No one, I don't think, no one could say this player was exceptional and this one was below them. It was that close this year. But if you look at the categories for why Rodri won, you can 100% see why he won it.
Fair play as well. A lot in regards to obviously why footballers do win Ballon d'Ors is obviously on the pitch, how they present themselves as well. I think you've got to be a sportsmanship. You've got to lead from the front as well. But yeah, it's going to be a bit of a mad
Look
one.
At last night. Look at last night. Mainan goes for it. I think he clears it. Taps Vinny. Vinny just goes on the floor crying. No need for it. Just get on with the game. And that's the main difference. Again, you can have theatre in football. Like, look at Neymar. Neymar at Barcelona was wonderful to watch. But again, the clear difference, I think everyone would say, who was better, Ronaldinho or Neymar? I think a lot of people will go Ronaldinho because he was different, and he also had that respect level as well, where he never threw himself on the floor. I think he was the proper Brazilian.
Yeah, every football fan out there, it doesn't matter who, like, especially if we're watching as a neutral, if we're Liverpool fans as well, and you do watch the elite level football as well, you want to be seeing just full-blooded, like, sensible tackles. I think that's one aspect of the game that has come very far in regards to like the early 2000s as well. I think watching Gerrard, Lampard go to head to head, Makelele's, the post goals, the Michael Carrick's even as well, the legend. Michael Essien as well.
Go ahead. Sorry, just to answer Lee's question. Yes, Michael Owen did win the Ballon d'Or while at Liverpool.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a mad one there anyway. But yeah, hopefully. I think if Salah or Van Dijk at the end of their Liverpool career comes away with, I'd love it if both of them won a Ballon d'Or. Like, obviously it's difficult because the time is running out, but certainly if Liverpool are successful the next 3-4 year period, and fingers crossed. And we Arne Slot, I think it will be the perfect ending to their Liverpool career. Hopefully they retire at Liverpool, and we speak about them as me and you speak, or when we've listened to our other family members speaking about the 70s and 80s, the stories of the Souness's, the Barneses of this world, the Kenny Dalglish's, the Keegans as well. Well, this is our era now in terms of people our age as well. But I know there's a lot of people that do watch that at different age categories as well. So I think in terms of the large percentage, everyone that watches or listens to this channel is between the age of 25 to 40. I think that demographic of age as well, which is, but everyone is welcome as well.
You're all
We love listening to the story as well. You're old. I'm getting on as well. You are a Connor as well. So certainly. But quickly going to the last story that we're going to mention as well in regards to Doug's mentioned it there. Since the West Singers allowed to commentate on football matches as well, Noel Gallagher on commentary for TNT and apologies, Josh. Imagine if Liverpool asked Paul McCartney or Ipswich asked Ed Sheeran as well. I agree and disagree in regards to Gallagher. He's just a football fan. I think there is a realm of possibility. I think in the right environment, in terms of if there is an option, as I said before, there should be options in regards to who commentates in football, because I think one of my main jobs why I loved main reasons why I created this channel was I just love talking about football. I'd love one day in the future, if it ever come about, where I'd love to just talk about football, analyze football, speak to footballers, interview them as well. I think you'd be the same as well, Con, where you just, I love nothing more than listening to footballers speak about football. It's all well and good, and I've got no qualms about no commentating on it, but I do get where I think
I do. I don't think it's right. You know, commentary for me, unless this was Man City TV. If it's a normal broadcast like TNT, why should we be having a full City like people on it? If that makes sense, like it should be, first of all, should be neutral, and as hell, because again, there could be English people, there could be people in England who support Sporting, and that's something else on it. But I don't mind if he's on as a pundit and he's talking about the football side of things with City, because he's been a lifelong City fan. He understands the football club. That is fair enough, and that I would agree with 100%. Same with Carragher, same with Neville. When we talk about Liverpool games or Manchester United games, they should be nowhere near on commentary because it's a biased perspective. Same with if it's Neville commentating on Liverpool, like the Arsenal game, he was begging Arsenal to score, and every single time Arsenal would score, would have that prescription.
Sometimes I just take it out of the game, though, as a new, even if you are watching a neutral game as well. I think commentary is a very big art form. Obviously, if you listen to it on the radio, I was listening to Danny Murphy on Talk Sports before we come on air, and he was speaking of when he's done co-commentary or commentary, it's very different as well. But I think radio commentary is very important because obviously there's no visual picture. You've got to describe it in a way and that you'd not articulate to an extent really, but you've just got to tell the listener what you are seeing step by step. But when it's visual commentary in regards, as you mentioned, with Carragher and Neville, I think when I watch, I'm just speaking from my viewpoints, Con, and there's no chance. What's your thoughts on this? I think I'd rather not listen to Carragher on commentating on a Liverpool game because I think it does take it out of you. Not that he does a good job, but I think in terms of, I'd rather listen to him analyse another team, whether like he's watching, say, Forest versus Arsenal. I want to see his unique perspective as us as fans. Obviously, I know there's certain fans out there that have played football at a certain level, but in terms of how Carragher would analyse that game, for example, I think if we were commentating on Liverpool, there would be a bit of bias. There'd certainly be bias as well. I think I think that's even I was listening to some Manchester United fans on Talksport as well in regards to they were calling up saying that there's too much where you can go sometimes in a positive and sometimes over as well in regards to Gary Neville's commentary on Manchester United goes a bit too OTT as well. But it's just about, I think, the right thing for me though, Doug, and great comments and in regards to football and commentary. I think the right thing is balance. I think the most important thing is as a broadcaster, being TNT, Sky Sports, there should be a place for fans to get their views, and there should be a place for fans, if they are fans, to commentate on the game as well, and there should be a place for ex-professional footballers to commentate on the game. But for me, as a sports channel or whatever or whatnot, I think it's having that variety and the option for the viewer as well, whether you are listening or you are watching a game of football. There should be an option. We live a day and age where technology is crazy in itself. There should be that adaptability. There should be that opportunity for the listener or the viewer to select what type of commentary you want. You can have your punditry, you can have your fan interact. Because remember that it was a Sky Sports fan cam. Like they were amazing. Like they that was was it
ahead of its time.
Yeah, ahead of its time, and that's what kind of did more or less spawn.
It's like one of
fan media on YouTube.
Yeah, it's like me or you doing it in a room with a United fan, and I think the Bundesliga do it. I think they do like a silent thing. I think obviously there's been a few clips from it where
they're amazing.
Yeah, they're brilliant. They're absolutely, and if they make a sound, they lose a point, and that's brilliant. But I also think that, again, like you said, in terms of commentary, should be an art form. And I think when you look at, I know some people now are obviously criticizing it and so on, but like Peter Jury, for me, the amount of years that we've wanted Peter Jury on commentary, another one, and for me, obviously the Champions League on ATV was prime football.
Those were the days.
When you got Clyde Tilsley on commentary, that was unbelievable.
That is pure theatre.
Yeah, and it's cinema, and that for me, when you listen to these types of people, again, you see the sheets that he has, I think
the notes.
I think he sells them now. Yeah, he sells them now, and obviously, other people will do it as well. The amount of detail they put into it, again, it is brilliant. And that is an art form in itself, but it's also then they transfer that information then to, again, the
viewer,
game,
the listener.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that is so important for what, again, you have certain games that you'll have like, you'll have, I don't know, let's say Manchester TV Liverpool or a Madrid Barcelona. Like everybody remembers that El Clasico when Messi went around everyone, and you just listen to Clive Tilsley, like, again, commentating on it. One of the best goals I think anybody's seen, and that makes it such a special moment. And even the World Cup, even the World Cup with Messi, that World Cup final was so good because everything, again, the football, the commentary, everything, there was no bias towards it. But when I watch, even when we watched Liverpool and Arsenal the other day, I think all of us were like just fed up with Gary Neville keeping on like an Arsenal fan, because he was so determined for Liverpool to lose points.
It's like I was watching him at Man United game, and they are back, and we're like, the bias will creep in there. But I do agree, Con. It's a good debate to have as well. And chat,
just give us neutral perspectives, please, Sky.
Yeah, but and the best, I think, if you go back and watch the Liverpool Tottenham commentary, I think it was for BN Sport. Arsene Wenger and Mourinho, they obviously they are professors of the game. They have studied football in every facet, every element, and the way in which they articulate themselves is to a point where you're like, wow. Like obviously the football managers, so much more than just the average Joe on the street, really, as well. But it's very expensive if you were to bring them on every single week. Football managers, but especially if they're out with a job, it obviously they'll probably be very happy to commentate as well. But the way they analyze that Liverpool Tottenham, go and check it out, Chas. Just the way they were listening to You Never Walk Alone and the way they spoke about football. I think you can listen to. I certainly can listen to Arsene Wenger for many of ours just speak about and just how we analyze football. It is an art form itself. But long may it continue. This is not us saying, or just in general. I think it's very great that we're the way fan media has adapted over the last 10, 15, 20-year periods. It's given fans a voice, given me and you, Connor, a voice to speak and analyse football, and we're very thankful on that as well. But I think there
It
is a
was like
time and a place to for fans to analyse and even commentate. This is not us say fans can't not commentate. Fans can clearly commentate on a game of football, but I think as the bill payers out there that do pay for other sports packages, there should be an option whether you listen to your football and commentary, your fan commentary, or vice versa. I think for to keep everyone happy, I think then just give you. I think for any business, I think if you've got variety in any form, whether that be sports journalism or fan media as well, I think the better. It makes everyone happy.
Well, I think obviously you were on a Twitter space a couple of weeks back, or last week, and that for me is a prime example of a good thing in football media in terms of the fact, again, you can get so many people on a space or a zone that you can speak upon, and obviously you'll have a couple of idiots in certain situations, but I feel like the common person or the common sense person, again, that's such a great space and interaction for everyone. And again, that's not even just purely Liverpool fans, but you can have a mixture of opinions. I think that's what's so good as well in terms of football debates. Again, you can have debates and you can have different people's thoughts without being an idiot, and that's something as well which I think, again, you look at the overlap. I think the overlap is such a good idea, but I feel like it's a great idea, but to an extent, because I feel like sometimes they get the same people on all the time. And again, obviously
you want to go on con, don't you, lads? So you can just rip Gary Neville.
No, Jesus Christ!
I'd love to see an interview with you and Gary Neville. I think he'd wind you up as well, as much as you vice versa. Anyway,
Jesus Christ. No, but it's not even that. It's the fact that you've got so many United fans with a different thought process to the same people who go on there. And even on our lads, you've got people that, again, you've got the guys from Redmen. You've had, I think, people from Anfield Rap have gone as well. There's other people, that could go on and have their thoughts and different views on things. But that's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. It's a really good thing. But it also goes to show how much versatility there is out there on different platforms: YouTube, Twitter, or X, whatever you want to call it, Instagram. And there's so many different variations that people can get their views out now, and that's a good thing. It gets us, me and you, what the hell do we know? But we talk about it anyway. So
yeah, but it's a passion, and yeah, it is an art form. But I think for every football fan around the world, I think we live in a day of age where you can just jump on a podcast, do a little podcast, have your little say as well. And I think me and you are very blessed to people that do listen as well. Even if we had 1 million viewers or whatnot tomorrow, we'd still trying our best to read through every single one of your comments as well, because it is the viewers that make every platform in any form of media what it is today. So without you listening or watching these channels, not just my channels, but everyone's, even TV channels and radio channels as well. Most important thing is fan engagement, and most importantly, just for me, just creating the best format they possibly can do as well. But yeah, very good little debate. Interesting views as well. Big up there, Geordie. He's not been too bad, mate, isn't he? Made up used one against Arsenal. Was that last week or the week before? But hopefully, maybe see you in the Champions League next season. Long way to go for your lads, Geordie. But I'll tell you, if you keep up the good form that you've seen in recent weeks, I don't get this bandwagon jumping in regards to Isaac as well. I think everyone expects Isaac to score every game. The thing with Newcastle, Geordie, is, as you'll know, mate, is the depth in squad for Newcastle, similar with Aston Villa. I think if Villa do get a couple of injuries, I think they might struggle. But if they evade a couple of injuries, I think Villa might be sound as well. I'd rather pick up there late. I'd rather no commentary at all. I tried watching it with the sound down, but it's like to hear the crowd as well. And that was the great thing about, obviously, Amazon commentary last night. We spoke about it with Kev. in regards to there was an option for just listen to the stadium ambience, really, and it was refreshing to say the least. Anyway, but as a sports channel, I think there should be every opportunity to supply the paying customer the opportunity to have whatever commentary or whatever audio you want as well. Con, massive thank you for coming on, mate. I know it's been a long show, but a massive thank you for tuning in, mate. Are you live tonight?
No, I'll be live tomorrow.
Okay.
I'm live tomorrow.
But yeah, where can everyone find you, please?
The Cop Council, YouTube, X as well, if anyone wants to follow us on there. Yeah, tomorrow we're going to be doing a breakdown on how Liverpool ruined Bayer Leverkusen, and how we changed around in that second half. In particular, we do have a clip going out tomorrow morning, I think around 10 o'clock. Obviously from the post-match speaking on Luis Diaz as well. That will be tomorrow. So if you guys want to check that out, then please go and do so. But yeah, thanks for having us on as well. And if anybody wants to go and check as well how Villa conceded that penalty, wow. Like,
what is really, it? What happens?
It's really bad. I'll tell you after the show, but like it's really bad.
Yeah, it's bad. But chat, a massive thank you for anyone that is watching on the repeat and still listening up to this point. Massive thank you. If you haven't already done so, do drop a like on my video as well tonight, and even Connor's content, or anyone's content you're watching, whether that be Twitter or YouTube or Facebook or whatever. Always do smash a like on all the content. Really does help out the content creator as well. But Reds and other fellow footballing fans, thank you for tuning in. Connor, massive thank you again. Sadly, Kev wasn't able to join us tonight, but he should be with us tomorrow. Connor's free tomorrow. We'll have Connor on as well. But Reds and neutrals, have a lovely rest of your night. Get involved in all the shows and topics and debates that we've spoke about tonight. We really are interested in what you all think. But until tomorrow at 6 p.m, there'll be another episode. But yeah, everyone, have a lovely rest of your night, and we'll speak to you tomorrow at 6 p.m. UK time, GMT. Ta-da.